The two reasons I first stepped into the Joyride universe were because of the multi-space car figurines and the vivid character concepts.
And what made you stay with this game?
Well, it's a fast, light racing board game, and it tells a humorous story.
Did you know that Rebellion Unplugged has Joyride Full Throttle ready to hit the pavement?
Let's take a look at it on Legendary Tactics.
Welcome to Joyride Full Throttle. This is a standalone sequel to the Joyride series by Rebellion Unplugged. And this set has 6 new cars, 2 map boards, and they can be configured into 20 unique tracks. And thanks so much to Rebellion Unplugged for both sponsoring this video and also sending us this prototype. So we better start with what's new about this release, in case people are familiar with the original Joyride Turbo just over your shoulder there.
So there are some rule changes. First of all, there is an updated team mode. There was a team mode in the original, but this is updated. And honestly, this game plays best with higher player counts. Get as many people around the table rolling dice and laughing at what's happening.
Yeah, absolutely. I've always thought that racing games, if it's one car versus one car, aren't at their best. So when you get multiple people, multiple cars, you can play up to 6 with this. So can you play this just by yourself then?
You can do a lone wolf mode where you can control multiple cars against somebody else who could also be controlling multiple cars.
Sounds like the chaos will be turbocharged and the carnage is going to be explosive.
Absolutely.
But we also have superfans who ride along the vehicles, and how do they work?
Well, now with the superfans, they ride in your vehicle as a power-up. Power-ups fit in these slots here on the board, and they ride in one of those slots, but they can be passed from car to car to car. The idea, though, is you're no longer racing your cars. You're now trying to race the superfan around the board. So maybe I'll carry the superfan for a little bit while you get set up for a dash back in the other direction, and we hand the superfan off.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, a new way of thinking of the game, where instead of it being car focused, it's now this object that you're trying to move around. And I think that's going to open up all sorts of new fun moments.
Almost like capture the flag or something.
Yeah. Sort of just a new idea.
That's pretty cool. Speaking of new, we also have some portals, which actually will probably radically change how you get around the board.
Absolutely. So portals, you zip into one and you instantly appear on the other side, maintaining your unspent movement and being able to point yourself in any direction. This is going to mean, instead of maybe trying to make that tight turn, maybe you're going to go a little bit further but faster to hit a portal, zipping you over to the other side of the board immediately.
Well, and it might add new strategy where you see a quicker way to get somewhere that you need to get that maybe your opponents haven't seen yet. So it gives you options. If you get knocked out of position, suddenly now option B is actually viable.
It opens up all sorts of options rather than the just try to get into the corner as tight as possible. Now it's, well, maybe I'm going to just take off in this direction and boom, suddenly I'm over here in front of you.
Right. Well, this game's sort of unique in that you can travel through the gates in either direction, right? So if you think you can go this way instead of that way, that's okay, and those portals might facilitate sort of changed roadmaps.
That's right, absolutely.
Awesome. Now we also have some new items in the game, so tell me about those.
So dumbbells are a dropped item that just slow your opponents. Marbles are another dropped item that forces your opponent to pivot, which is a new motion where you move the back of the car rather than the front of the car. Usually when you're moving, this is the front of the car. Usually when you're moving, you go like that, but a pivot allows you to keep the front still and slide the back out like you're drifting around a corner or something.
Awesome. And we'll get to the character who specializes in that in a little bit.
Yes. The thumper allows you to create a collision without you actually needing to be there.
So when you smash into somebody, it hurts them, but it doesn't hurt you.
Well, you don't even smash into them. You shoot this out in front of you, and it smashes into them for you.
Brilliant.
On your behalf.
So is there any way that you can use any of these items to support an ally?
Absolutely. The wrench is both an offensive and defensive support. It can, when it hits the person, it causes them to gear up or gear down. If they gear up, they heal a damage, but if they gear down, they take a damage. So it's your choice as to whether or not you're helping or hindering the target.
That's cool. Now, I have to say the volleyball was my favorite weapon, only because in our first gameplay, I launched it, hit a wall, rebounded it, and hit you, and I think it was totally unexpected.
Yeah, and you picked it up and fired it right away, so it was no way I could even plan for it.
Yeah, nice little ricochet item.
The volley bomb is fun in that the first thing it hits, it doesn't have to explode. So it could hit an obstacle or a car or the edge of the board, and you can bounce it off in any direction. You don't have to do calculus to try to figure out which way it's going to go. This creates unexpected moments, and I have to admit, when I had the volley bomb in my hand, I was constantly looking at, could I send it off to get you somehow?
Right.
And unfortunately, you were far behind me, and I wasn't able to.
Oh, there it is. There it is. Well done.
Talking about being far behind, though, if you're
what happens if you're far behind? How can I catch you?
Well, you could use the nitro, and the nitro allows you to roll an extra die. However, it comes with a little bit of a risk. This doesn't mean you go up a gear, so you can keep some of your maneuverability at lower gear levels. But if you roll this special lightning bolt, then what happens is you get an explosion in your engine and you actually flip 180 degrees.
Oh, very nice. Okay, gives you a little zip, but it's got a little bit of risk.
A little bit of risk, that's right.
That's awesome. So with this game, there are a couple of rules changes. The pivot you've already discussed.
Yes, there are also tire barriers. And tire barriers, when you hit the tire barrier, you are, instead of creating a smash, you create a, you're allowed to steer without accounting to your steer limit for the turn.
So you can use that as another tactic to position yourself.
Bouncing off of things, yeah, exactly.
Oh, that's cool. And I think the thing we need to mention most about the rules changes is there aren't that many. So essentially, if you know how to play the original Joyride, you get fresh characters. Each of them will get different abilities, which we'll get into in a moment. And otherwise, you'll know how to play this game with a few minor changes.
Yeah, I think the rule changes are more to facilitate having new and interesting characters added to the game without creating a lot of rules overhead.
So we should probably take a look at our characters now. And for a lot of people, this will be the primary reason they want to get the game, is because it's got new characters. Now, this is the prototype, so we don't have the, I think there's an ink design of some sort on the actual game found.
Three-dimensional car figurines, which look amazing.
Yes, that's awesome. So can you give me a quick snapshot of who the characters are?
Well, we have the van lifers. We have a mall cop, maybe based on a movie of some sort. There's a low rider, who I played and found quite fun. There's a food truck, a drifter, and a delivery van, who doesn't love his job that much.
And each of these have their own flavor. So let's jump into the van lifers. A little bit like the Mystery Machine here.
Absolutely like the Mystery Machines. You got your Scooby Snacks, where you can grab some items. You've got your Let's Chill It Out, where they go to zero and maybe take a little bit of surfing on the waves. And then they have the idea of getting a photo op where they can sort of spin themselves around with a very fast pivot.
Right, okay.
Yeah.
That brings us to the mall cop. Now, I got to play as this character, and what I noticed about him, he had a really cool ability to maneuver. So a couple of times you threw a dog down and I wasn't allowed to hit your dog. And so if I get stuck and you threw a dumbbell, I think, at me too.
That's right.
You can just pivot really quickly and any number of times and then move forward one space. So this guy, it's like he's in a mall and some teenage thugs have stolen something and they're heading the other direction. He can just spin around on a dime and
that's right,
and go after them. So
that's right.
Hot Pursuit, you can change the value of a locked die, so that could be really handy if you want to get a little extra speed burst. And Lost Property was you get 3 items, choose one, so it'll give you a little chance if there's a particular item you're looking for. If you're in the right position, then you can trigger that to try to
land it
at the right time.
I will say I was disappointed a few times that I thought I had your character completely out of sorts and in the wrong position, and your evasive maneuvers really saved you a couple times during the game.
Yes, they did. Saul Hart really knows his way around them all.
He does.
So the lowrider you played is this one in our last game?
Yeah, the lowrider is sort of this fun guy who's out just sort of cruising around in his blinged out vehicle. He has a dog that he can drop, and then the dog moves around on the board, and other players are not allowed to hit the dog. You're not allowed to smash. You have to steer around it.
I can't understand why.
Well, it's a cute little dog.
The notorious DOG is his name.
The notorious DOG, exactly.
Yes.
When you get into a collision, you may steer rather than do the collision. So this gives you an opportunity to avoid a smash or something negative. And finally, if you really need it, that big engine can help you change a die to a higher value. I fortunately, was rolling a lot of 3s during this game, so I didn't need to raise my die very often. But
yes, not always a good thing, though, if you go piling into the barrier.
That's true. That's
right.
I was very lucky with my rolls.
That brings us to Sir Sizzle, the food truck. And what I like about this guy is he's all about slipping and sliding. So he can squirt some ketchup down, and then he increases the value of a rolled die.
Okay.
He can squirt some mustard down, which allows him to jump to any gear. So he can just immediately go gear 5. Which,
right off the bat.
Well, in this game, I mean, it takes a long time in some of these tighter tracks to get up to the 5th gear. But if you got that long stretch, it's almost like you've got a permanent nitro in there. But of course, you would have to gear down still.
Yeah.
And greasy wheels, so I can roll an unused player die, and then I can pivot that number of times. So just sort of spinning on the spot.
But might allow you to stay in that higher gear while you're pivoting around. And so these have very synergetic effects.
For sure. And not only that, but he's got a hot dog as his gear chart.
The art design of this, it really brings out the theme of each character.
Yes,
I thought.
It does. And our last two characters, we've got the Drifter is one.
Now, the Drifter does exactly like you might imagine. It's all about pivoting. One thing I really like is the need for speed is a +2 to your movement, and so it's not variable. If you need that +2, you have it in your back pocket sort of thing.
Very nice. Yep. The delivery van, Doran Dash, the driver. This guy seems to be about sort of limiting his speed. He can change direction with the reroute delivery by pivoting. He can limit his speed. All the rolls get reduced to 1 so that he can really stop and get the package released where he wants to. And then special delivery. You can treat any item as a fired item that explodes when it hits a target.
Yeah, sort of like the volley bomb without the bouncing, but it can be anything you picked up.
That's right. So he's more of an offensive character that way that you can target people.
And that's why I say he doesn't really love his job. He's taking his packages and shooting them at other people.
Yeah, that's right. Just launching them onto doorsteps.
That's right.
Well, thank you so much for the summary. I think that covers everything we need here. Make sure you check out the Game Found page that we've linked in the description. And do we have any final thoughts, Gastel?
The feel of this game is really encapsulated in the drivers' names that you're mentioning. They capture the fun, loving, chaotic nature of Joyride Full Throttle. This game is intended for you to get together with 5 friends, roll some dice, and create some mischief on the racetrack. Now,
get out there,
get gaming,
and be legendary.